get to the expiration date on the product? Does that mean got to be thrown away?
That's another question I've been asked countless times. With our products, the only thing that expiration date means is that's a time at which the potency could potentially begin to decline below the label potency. Okay. So meaning if we had a 2000 IU vitamin D3 and at 3 years, say you notice, wow, it's been in my cabinet for 4 years. It expired a year ago. If I take this, am I going to be taking any risks? Absolutely, positively, no risks at all. The only thing that might mean is that 2000 IU vitamin D3 capsule in a year past its expiration might be 1750 or 1800 IU. It might have lost a bit of potency. It is not dangerous, it is not toxic, and none of those issues at all. These are not products that are going to be growing bacteria or fungus or somehow their ingredients become poisonous to you or toxic, not an issue at all. So again, that expiration date is just instructive in terms of potency, and if nothing else, it informs you that our products, when you receive them, they're years away from their expiration date, although some of our products have shorter expiration dates, like Friendly Flora has an expiration date of just over a year, and we do that intentionally, but it just shows you when you get that product, they've all been freshly manufactured. We make all of our products, all our Today Specials, all of our visits, basically, everything is made within weeks of that visit, everything.
So I hope that answers the question, but again, a real good one. Now, yes. Andrew, if I could ask you to elaborate on what it says on the screen. On everybody's TV screens at home, it says, the most important and the most affordable vitamin to consume. Why?
I always thought it was important to emphasize this about vitamin D. Sometimes if things are really inexpensive, we think they're not really important. We associate cost with benefit. Back in the day when CoQ10 was the most expensive nutrient I made, it was easy for people to understand how important it was. Now I almost have to make an excuse for the fact that our CoQ10 is 90% less expensive than it was when I introduced it, that notwithstanding the price reduction, it's still just as important as it was. Vitamin D, as important as vitamin C is, as important as vitamin E, as important as B12, and those are sort of the three top vitamins in terms of people supplementing them separately. As far as I'm concerned, vitamin D is even more important. That's why our multivitamin, we start with 1,000 or 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 in our Essential One, your choice, because you don't want to be any lower than that. As I said before, I take about 4,000 IU per day, and that gets me to the level I need to be. And we should all have a blood test and know what our vitamin D levels are. I prefer vitamin D levels that are above 50 and preferably between 60 and 80. That would be ideal. 50, 60, anywhere in there, that's an excellent vitamin D level. That's generally going to require about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 IU per day. If you're overweight, it requires more. And so with the graphic on the screen, it's just, despite how inexpensive vitamin D is, you could get that 2,000 IU capsule for pennies a day, it is still, if someone said to me, you're going to go through life and which vitamin wouldn't you want to be sub-threshold? Which vitamin would be most troubling to you based upon the science and research to be a bit lower than its healthy levels? And I would say vitamin D. Wow. That as healthy as vitamin C is, as important as vitamin E is, as important as vitamin B12 is to energy production, I would still, vitamin D is that vitamin. That's the research and the science has been rolling, and it's been sort of like a tsunami coming in for the last 15, 20 years. But mind you, it's a vitamin that I saw the research in epidemiologic studies, which I talked about how I love large population studies. More than laboratory studies, I like large population studies that talked almost 40 years ago of the importance of vitamin D in large populations. So since 1979, since I made my first multivitamin, I've been putting higher levels of vitamin D. Every multivitamin we've made has always had at least 1,000 IU of vitamin D3 in it. And most multivitamins had 200 or 400 for the better part of the last 35 years. Now some have bumped them up to 1,000, but it's something I've always recognized based on the science, because as I say, the science is what drives our formulas, not not economics, not the way everybody else does it, but the science that ensures that you're getting the best benefits.
I know the pricing that you see on the screen, supremely affordable. Not forgetting as well, as we head over to our next one, that while Andrew is here, we have that free